Okay, so now that we know that Kadesh Barnea and Kadesh are the same place, I wanted to find out give the geographical location of Kadesh. When you go into Numbers 20 and 14, Numbers 20 and 14, it says, "And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Eden. Thus saith thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us." Okay, skipping to Numbers 20 and 16, it says, "And we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice, and he sent an angel, and he has brought us forth out of Egypt, and behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border." So here you have it, that Moses is in Kadesh, and he sent a message to the king of Edom, because he was right in right at his city, within the border. Okay, and so that puts Kadesh in Edom, which is modern day Jordan. Okay, so I really wanted to establish where Kadesh was, because it lets you know that it's not in Egypt, and it's not in Saudi Arabia. Okay, and this is where the children of Israel spent a lot of time, and I'll go into that later. But I also wanted to give the meaning of the word Kadesh. It's actually the same word as Quadash, which means holy, but it's spelled with a K, and so it's a little different. But when you go into the Strong's Concordance, the number is 6946 for Kadesh, and it means holy. And if you go to 6947 for Kadesh Barnea, it has the same meaning, holy. So then I was thinking, well, why would the Most High call this location in Jordan holy? Why? So I was thinking, maybe could the holy mountain be in the same vicinity? Okay, and so then I started to go into that, and the answer is yes. Now you got to understand that these are mysteries that have been hidden from us for centuries, and it's Bible mystery. So you have to be able to go and try to figure it out. And since we are at the end times, and we know that the Most High said that there will be a strong deception, that we have people, our own Israelites, who are working against us, not trying to give us pertinent information that we will need in order for us to come back to our Father. You must go into these scriptures and study for yourself. Study to show yourself approved to AHAYAH, because we are being tried and tested, Israel, and it's up to each and every one of us to know this information. Okay, so now when you go into Numbers 33, Numbers 33 gives you the whole journey of the Hebrew Israelites coming across the Red Sea. And so when I went into it, I wanted to start at, okay, if you start at Numbers 33 and 8, it says, "And they departed from before Pi-hahiroth, and passed through the midst of the Red Sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey into the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Morah." I wanted to start there because this is when they first crossed into the Red Sea. Now I have a lot of information on this. Again, you have to go to my blog and read the book that I wrote, because I explained how I came across the Red Sea, actual Red Sea crossing, which is located in Jordan. Aqaba, Jordan, not in Saudi Arabia, and it's not in Egypt. So they are lying to us and trying to steer us in the wrong areas, and I'm sure that there's a good reason for that. I'm sure they have something planned, but of course I don't know exactly what it is, but there's information that I can give you on that as well, but I'll do that at another time. But just to let you know that the actual crossing is actually in Aqaba, Jordan. And please go to the blog, and it gives you the information of how I know this, and we can go from there. But I'm just going to start, again, Numbers 33 and 8. It starts when they cross in the midst of the sea into the wilderness and go on a 3-day journey. So if going to 33 and 9, it says they moved from Morah, came to Elim, and in Elim were 12 fountains of water, 70 palm trees, and they pitched there. Now this is the location where the palm trees are, where the water were, the wells were, the 12 wells. So this is a very significant area because, you know, it gives you some description of what's in this location. Now I believe in this location is at the border of Saudi Arabia, right in, you know, in Saudi Arabia, but, you know, very at the tip of the Saudi Arabia. Because in the biblical times, Arabia was Jordan and Saudi altogether. There was no border. Okay, so when they came across the Red Sea, they went south and they went down, into Saudi. But they only stayed there for 3 days. Because when you go to Numbers 33 and 10, it says, and they moved from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. So that lets you know that they did not stay there long. They went back to the Red Sea after encamping by the 12 fountains of water and the 70 palm trees. And that took them 3 days to find all that. Let's see. No. They went a 3-day journey to the wilderness of Etham and pitched in Morah. They removed from Morah and came to Elim. And in Elim is where they found the 12 fountains of water and the 40 palm trees. Okay, but they did not stay there that long. So they didn't build the golden calf there. They didn't do any of that there. They went back to the Red Sea, as Numbers 33 and 10 says. Numbers 33 and 11 says they moved from the Red Sea and encamped in this wilderness of Sin. Okay. On Numbers 33 and 12, it says they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Dafka. Okay. Okay, so after that, they moved, and I want to concentrate on, after Dafka, when you go to Numbers 33 and 14, they moved from Alash and encamped at Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. And I want to concentrate on this area, Rephidim. Okay? So just because I said that kind of quickly, Numbers 33 and 13 said they departed from Dafka and encamped at Alash. Numbers 33 and 14 says, and they removed from Alash and camped at Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. And this is the area I want to concentrate on. Now, Rapha is where the people started to chide with Moses, and Moses went to the Most High and said, "What am I going to do? Because they're about to stone me." And let me get into that. When you go to, let me find it. Okay, now basically what I'm trying to establish is that the children of Israel, for the whole 40 years, they went in circles from Aqaba to Kadesh, which is Petra, back to Aqaba, back to Kadesh. They were going in circles within the same area for 40 years. And this is what I will prove to you, doing this study, because I didn't mention it. So, okay, so what I just read just shows that they made several stops and they ended up in Rephidim. Now, Rephidim is where there was no water to drink, and the children of Israel started to complain. Okay, and I'm going to show you Give me 1 second. Okay, if you go to Exodus 17 and 1, it says, "And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandments of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink." Exodus 17 and 5, when you jump down, it says, "And the Lord said to Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee the elders of Israel, and thy rod, and where thou smotest the river, take in thy hand, and go." Exodus 17 and 6 says, "Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink." And Moses did so in sight of the elders of Israel. Okay, so here we are. They're in Rephidim. They made about 4 or 5 stops from coming across the Red Sea, right? Now they're in Rephidim. There's no water to drink. He tells the Most High tells him to stand on the rock in Horeb. Now the rock in Horeb is another name for Mount Sinai. Okay? Now, and I'll prove that by reading Exodus 3 and 1. "Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God of AHAYAH, even to Horeb." So we know that the mountain of AHAYAH is also referred to as Horeb, which is Mount Sinai. So here we are. If you go back to Exodus 17 and 6, Moses is standing on the rock in Horeb, and he's about to strike the rock for water, it's in Rephidim. Okay, so this establishes that Rephidim is very close to Mount Sinai. Okay. Okay, so let me give you another scripture. Where we can say the same thing. If you go to Numbers 33 and 15, it says, "And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai." So again, it lets you know that Rephidim is by Mount Sinai. Okay, let me give you another scripture along those lines. Okay, so if you go to Numbers 9 and 5, it says, "And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at evening in the wilderness of Sinai. According to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel." If you go to Numbers 10 and 12, it says, "And the children of Israel took their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud rested in the wilderness of Paran." Again, so remember early on I showed you that the wilderness of Paran was Kadesh. That is Kadesh, which is in Eden, modern day Jordan. Here we are. The children pitched from, if you go back up to Numbers 9 and 5, they pitched from wilderness of Sinai, which is right by Rephidim, and they went from Sinai to the wilderness of Paran. Now you got to remember that this is 1 million or so people, so they're not walking a far journey. There's a very close proximity between when the cloud tells them to move to one place to the other. So this is letting you know that Rephidim is very close to Mount Sinai and the wilderness of Sinai, and the wilderness of Sinai is very close to the wilderness of Paran. And the wilderness of Paran is Kadesh in Jordan. Edom, modern day Jordan. Okay, but I'll give you more. Okay, I'll give you more. Just so you could be clear that Mount Sinai is actually very close to Jordan, in Petra. Hold on. Okay, if you go to Exodus 19:2, for they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. Okay, and we know the mount is Mount Sinai. It's in the desert of Sinai. So they right there. So again, this is putting Rephidim right where Mount Sinai is. Okay, because Moses was in Rephidim, and the Most High told him to stand upon the rock in Horeb, which is Mount Sinai. Okay, so that's another thing. Now, I hope I'm being clear on this. I'm trying to. It is a mystery. It's a little confusing, but it's not that hard to figure it out. Okay? So, hold on, give me a second, please. Now, there are two incidences where in Scripture where Moses supposedly struck the rock, right? One time he actually struck the rock, but the other time the Most High told him to speak to the rock, and he struck the rock, in which he ended up rebelling against the Most High. But what make these incidences so alike is the fact that they're both called Meribah in the Scriptures. Now, I was thinking, why would the Most High call these two same places Meribah? Is it that they're actually the same incidents, just spoken of in different books, or is it the same location? Is it the same location and, just spoken of at different times, but it's the same location? So when you go into Numbers 27 and 14, it says, For ye rebelled against my commandments in the desert of Zin. We know that's Kadesh, which is in Petra. In the strife of the congregation to sanctify me at the waters before their eyes. It is the water of Meribah in Kadesh in the wilderness. So here he's plainly letting us know exactly the location of this account. Meribah is in Kadesh, which is modern day Jordan in Eden. And the other account is at Rephidim, right? Which I just let you know that's kind of in the same location, because he was on the Mount Horeb striking the rock, but he was in Rephidim. Okay? So, now when you read that account, one is Numbers 27 and 14. 27 and 14, it lets you know that they were in Jordan, Eden. But the other account it's not clear where they are. But in both accounts, if you read, it's kind of like the same incident happened. After he struck the rock and the water came out, then Amalek, which we know is Edom, they came out and fought against them. And the other account, he says, Edom came out and fought against them. So it's very parallel in the whole experience of them striking the rock, the children murmuring against him. He names the place Meribah in both accounts, and then Esau comes out to fight up against them, but he calls them different names. One is Amalek, and the other one was Edom come out and fight against them. But it lets you know that they're in close vicinity to Edom, because Amalek we know is Edom, and why would they come out to fight against the children of Israel unless they were in their territory? You understand? So, these accounts are very similar, and I was wondering, either it's the same account, just spoken of in different books, or it's in the same location, because we now understand that the children of Israel were wandering in this circle for 40 years. And I'll prove that as well. When you go to Deuteronomy 2 and 14, it says, And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea, which we know is Kadesh, until we came across Brook Zerad was 38 years, until all the generation of men of war were wasted out from among the host, as the Lord AHAYAH swore unto them. So here it's just very clear that they stayed in Kadesh Barnea, and they didn't cross over this brook, which when you go into it, it's in Moab, and that's really like very close. They stayed in this area of Kadesh Barnea for 38 years. And like I said, so it gives me the understanding that they were just going back from Petra to Aqaba, stopping at different locations for the whole 40-year journey in the wilderness. Also, when you go into the Strong's Concordance and you look up Paran, the wilderness of Paran, it kind of gives you that explanation as well. And I'll put it up on the screen because I don't have it in front of me. But it basically is saying that, that approximately all 18 stops was in this area of the wilderness of Paran. And I already gave you the scriptures that prove that the wilderness of Paran is Kadesh. So it's basically kind of giving you a circle. They just basically stayed within the same area. Again, I'll put on the screens the different names of Kadesh, which we know today is present-day Petra. And these are the different names which it's called in the scriptures. And now when you go to the blog spot and you read the actual book, I give a much more detailed and clear outline. I'm just kind of like jumping around right now just to kind of put the video up and to show you that modern day Jordan, Petra, is the biblical Kadesh, and actually that is where the holy mountain is. And we are being deceived and lied to because the powers that be, they don't want us to know where the holy mountain is. They are trying to stop us from getting to this location. And that's why you have elders and teachers telling you that this location is in Saudi Arabia. And for many years and centuries, we were told that it was in Egypt. We have been lied to, Israel. And they are stopping us. Everything that they can do to stop us. They have infiltrated our brothers. They have infiltrated all the Israelite groups. They knew we were going to wake up, and so this was the plan, as you can see. So I praise and thank AHAYAH because he knew what was going to befall our brothers and sisters. He knew that they was going to try and stop us, and even though he said we will be tried and tested, and that's why it's so important for you to study, to show yourself approved to AHAYAH, because he is testing us. He knew of these snares. He wants to know who is really his, who is really seeking him, who really wants this kingdom. You have to be found worthy of this kingdom. No one is saved until the end. And so you must learn, figure out the borders. Make sure you are in the right location because he is only going to protect those within his borders. So I already showed you that Alexandria isn't within the borders. It's on the other side of the Nile. That is outside of the borders. I don't know what's going to befall our brothers and sisters in that area. I don't know what these people have planned, but I know they have snares. So now that we know where the location, I urge our brothers and sisters to get into the places we need to be so that you can prepare. They're telling you got elders and deacons and liars telling you they don't know how we're going to make it there. They don't know how we're going to build a tabernacle. They don't know anything. Why? Because their handlers are not allowing you to tell you the information. They have handlers who are not allowing them to give you the proper information. That's why they don't know how. And for those that some of you will make it there. That's why they're saying those kind of things like some of you will make it there. Why? Because they know that they're lying to you and they're giving you the wrong information, and maybe some of you will come across the correct information. So I urge you, brothers and sisters, to pay attention. Saudi Arabia, they're not going to let down their borders and let thousands of black people run across in Saudi Arabia, even after America is destroyed. I mean, you can look at what happened in Japan at the Fukushimas. Could anybody run into Japan, even despite of the major destruction that happened there? No one could just walk into Japan. Their borders are still protected. Saudi Arabia borders will still be protected even though the Most High is going to strike the tongue, they still, because Esau is still going to be in rulership, and we know that Ishmael is down, is in this with Esau. So they're not going to just let their borders open and let thousands of people run into Saudi Arabia. And there's no reason for you to go in there because the Holy Mountain is not even there. So, this just lets you know that people are lying to you. They infiltrated the GOCC when them brothers were in America standing up. They figured out who the ones who, was going to lead the people. They split them up. And so Elder Wakar is, they're infiltrated. You got fake elders, deacons, and deacons speaking for the GOCC, giving you the wrong information, knowing you have to leave. I'm not saying you have to get out of America. Your time is running out. But you better know the borders and where to go. Get within the borders. If you read Numbers 34, it gives you the land that was allotted to Judah and to, for Shem. If you go into the book of Jubilees, it gives you the borders for Shem. These are our borders. You have to figure it out. And you have to wonder why nobody's giving you, none of the elders are giving you this information. Why? They're not telling you where the real Mount Sinai is, and they don't expect you to make it there. But now you have a chance. Praise the Most High. Thank the Most High. They try to stop a woman from speaking, but I'm the only one who can speak. So you better praise the Most High. And they try to use the book against us and tell us not to speak against your brother. If my brother is speaking, is working with Esau to bring down my nation, I'm going to speak against them. I'm going to scream it from the rooftops. Okay? I'm not going to allow anybody to stop our people from coming back to AHAYAH. So they can kill all that noise. I'm not docile, and I'm not programmed. I'm not dumbed down. I'm very awake, and I thank the Most High for having the Spirit of Christ upon me to speak out. We are in war. There's a time for everything. There's a time to be meek and peaceful and quiet, but it's not that time right now. Judah needs to stand up and rise up and get into the prospective places, in the prospective areas, so that we can start to prepare, so that we as a nation can survive what they have in store for us. So please, it's not the time to be docile right now. It's not the time to be not speaking against brothers. If they are speaking against, if they're working against AHAYAH and Yeshaya, you have to speak up and you have to stand up. Judah must stand up. It is time for us to rise up as a people and come together for those who are in like mind. If you straddling the fence, then all I can suggest is that you move out of the way, because there is work that needs to be done. Our people have to survive this. And only the strong is going to survive this. Only those in Christ will survive this. Only those who are studying to show themselves approved to the Most High will not get caught up in certain snares. Pay attention, Israel. It's not the time to be acting all docile. It's not the time to be, love. It's nice to love your brother. But if your brother has turned against you and is working for Esau, then you are at war with your brother. Because Christ did not die for people to be straddling the fence and turning a blind eye for this. Christ is coming back for war. He's coming back to take down these wicked nations and anybody who's standing with them. And praise the Most High. I pray the Most High that I am there when Christ returns. I pray and ask the Most High that I'm there when Christ returns, and I'm one of those who rise and to meet Christ in the air. Because I will be pointing out complacent Hebrew Israelites who don't want to speak up and who don't want to stand. I'm going to be like that one right there, Yeshaya. Him right there, he ain't want to speak. He sold out our people. He was lying. I'm going to tell. Because I'm not going to sit back and watch my people fall by the sword if they don't have to. Stand up, Israel. Prepare. You can buy tents. You can prepare for what's about to happen. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you don't know. They don't know how. So now that you know that the Holy Mountain is not in Mount Sinai and that you can just walk into the area and buy you a tent, can you prepare now? Can you get yourself together now? Now, what is the excuse now for any elder, teacher, any man telling you not to get where you need to be to prepare? What is the excuse now? Because now we know where Mount Sinai, the area it is, and there's no restriction. Why isn't our brothers and sisters there preparing for what's about to happen? Can somebody give me an answer? Okay. So these fake elders, these fake deacons, these fake teachers, move them out of the way. They must be moved and taken down, because there's no time to be straddling the fist with false information. We have no time for that. Any brother who's not standing up, you need to be ashamed of yourself at this point. Any brother, if you're not standing up for this truth and looking other brothers in their faces who are playing games, who took money, who sold us out, come on, it's time to separate the wheat from the tare. I know Christ is going to do that when he returns, but you know who's lying. You know who sold you out. The Most High is giving you, he's giving us a lot of time to get ourselves together. He's giving us a lot of time. We see it's coming. You see the prophecies unfolding. But you still have brothers and sisters sitting in America acting like, I'm still trying to get my passport. When you've been knowing this truth for a year or so now, and you still just applying for your passport? Listen. All glory and praise to AHAYAH Bahashem Yeshaya. I'm praying for each and every one of you that you stand. That it's time to stand up, Israel. Don't allow anyone to deliver you. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse. Please read the Bible. Read it. He's given us all we need, all the information. Please go into the blog spot, get the rest of this information that you need. It's very clear where the Holy Mountain is, and it's very clear where where we need to be. So, all glory and praise, and I say to AHAYAH Bahashem Yeshaya, all glory and praise to AHAYAH Bahashem Yeshaya. I say, may the Most High be with you, and have a blessed day. Shalom.